finally I got to the point where I could no longer defend it publicly. And it's as a professional career member of the U.S. Diplomatic Service, when I could no longer defend the policy in public, it is time for me to go.
The United States condemns in the strongest possible terms the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant's aggression in Mosul. It has led to a serious deterioration of the security situation in that city and in Nineveh province.
Well, it's a sad state of affairs, to be frank about it, given the almost 4,500 lives that we used to defeat the Al-Qaeda by 2011, in Iraq. Frankly, when you draw back from this, strategically, this administration made a decision to pull back and disengage from the Middle East, and that vacuum has been filled by radical Islamists.
Talking about this takeover of Mosul, a city in northern Iraq, largely believed to be from terrorists inside Syria. The first soundbite you heard there was from Ambassador Robert Ford, former ambassador for President Obama, 2010 to 2014. He wrote in the New York Times op-ed, quote, "Al-Qaeda offshoots that joined the war now pose a potential threat to our security. These extremists enjoy a sanctuary from which they may mount attacks against Europe or the United States. More hesitation and unwillingness to commit to enabling the moderate opposition fighters to fight more effectively, both the jihadists and the regime, simply hasten the day when American forces will have to intervene against Al-Qaeda in Syria." We're back at the panel. Steve, this has significance today because a lot of the jihadists, these radical Islamists, are coming from Syria and now taking over a full city in Iraq.
A full city, the second largest city in Iraq. I mean, strategically very important city in Iraq. I think this is significant. It's really hard to overstate how important this is. And a Washington Post piece published this afternoon said, in effect, what you have with ISIS, with this terrorist group, is a state without a declared state. I mean, they've got so much territory, they've amassed so much territory between Syria and Iraq that it's effectively a state. I would argue that this is what happens when you seek to end wars, not to win them. That's what we've seen President Obama do. And you look at the state in Iraq, the fact that we don't have a status of forces agreement, that we never got one, that was a failure of the Obama administration in the first term. The fact that today we are announcing, in my view, the premature end of combat operations in Afghanistan, the fact that the president has in effect declared the end to the war on terror. We've stopped fighting. They're going to continue to fight. They're trying to amass territory. And Peter Bergen, an Al-Qaeda expert who said 2 years ago that Al-Qaeda was effectively dead, has said more recently that Al-Qaeda now controls more territory than it ever has. That is an opinion that's consistent with what we heard from Jack Keane.
This has been evolving for the administration. Take a listen to the State Department yesterday and today.
I don't get the sense that they're gaining a lot of territory. The threat that ISIL is presenting is not just a threat to Iraq or the stability of Iraq, but it is a threat to the region.
That was 24 hours.